Breaking news: Donald Trump ready for a fight at G7 summit as world to declare trade war? Donald Trump is preparing for a trade war fight at the G7 summit in Canada, as nations retaliate against his punitive tariffs. The US president said America has the worst trade deals ever made, hinting tomorrow's G7 summit in La Malbaie, which begins at 6 p.m. GMT, will be one of the most dramatic yet. World leaders are gathering in the French municipality and are said to be deeply angered by President Trump's unprovoked tariffs. Taking to Twitter, Mr. Trump said, "Isn't it ironic? Getting ready to go to the G7 in Canada to fight for our country on trade, we have the worst trade deals ever made, then off to Singapore to meet with North Korea and the nuclear problem. But back home we still have the 13 angry Democrats pushing the witch hunt." The European Commission has already said it will announce a raft of retaliatory tariffs on everyday U.S. goods during the summit. The retaliations are in response to Mr. Trump's decision to impose 25% levy on all imports of steel from the EU, and 10% on aluminium. The tariffs were also placed on imports from Canada and Mexico. The tariffs on £2.1 billion worth of U.S. exports will be slapped on hundreds of items from peanut butter, sweet corn and cereals to Levi's jeans. They will range from 10% to 50% of their value. The European Commission Vice President Jyrki Katainen said, "We have the full support from member states. It's difficult to say what President Trump will do next, but this is our response." The imposed trade tariffs could be put into place as early as July. Items that could be affected by retaliatory measures against the U.S. include rice, sweet corn, kidney beans and cereals. Levi jeans and Harley-Davidson motorcycles will also be included in the tariffs. All items will be subject to up to a 25% additional tariff. However, the European Commission admitted its proposals could provoke a full-on trade war. The term witch hunt has been used by Donald Trump on several occasions, including accusations of the president colluding with Russia during the 2016 presidential campaign, as well as it references the Salem witch hunt of Massachusetts between 1962 to 1963, where people in the town of Salem were wrongly accused and executed on suspicion of being witches. But on Wednesday, senior Trump economic advisor Larry Kudlow briefed journalists at the White House ahead of Thursday's talks. Mr. Kudlow said the U.S. should not be held responsible for mounting trade conflicts with American allies. "Don't blame Trump. Blame the nations that have broken away. The global trade system is broken and President Trump is trying to fix it. And that's the key point." As CNBC reports, Mr. Kudlow also denied reports that Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin pushed for a tariff exemption for Canada during a meeting this week and asked if he thought Mr. Trump has damaged relations with neighboring Canada. Mr. Kudlow said, "I have no doubt the United States and Canada will remain firm friends and allies." Canadian PM Justin Trudeau blasted Trump's measures as totally unacceptable, while Theresa May called Trump's decision unjustified. In a statement, Ms. May said, "I am deeply disappointed at the unjustified decision by the U.S. to apply tariffs to EU steel and aluminium imports. The U.S., EU and UK are close allies and have always promoted values of open and fair trade across the world. Our steel and aluminium industries are hugely important to the UK, but they also contribute to U.S. industry including in defense projects which bolster U.S. national security."